Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I just finished playing Spider-Man Remastered on the PC, and this game is honestly one of my favorite games I've played on the PC. Like, I still go back to it from time to time just to swing around and take down some cops. Not cops, take down some criminals. I'll do little side quests here and there for about an hour or two, and then I'll switch to a different game. But this year I want to go ahead and try and 100% complete this game among many others. So I went ahead and replayed it. This gameplay you're seeing here in this video and in the next video after this is essentially the second half of the campaign, or maybe the final quarter. And this is where the game just really picks up. It really picks up throughout the whole game. The story, I'm gonna be honest, the story's amazing. The story is amazing. You know, playing the game in the moment, I was kind of thinking like, the story's good, but it's not amazing. I'm gonna make a little bit of a comparison here. Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy, the story's good. The story's good, but it's nothing special. But something that carries that game so much, or is like the star component of that game, is the fact you're in the wizarding world of Hogwarts. And the combat in that game is also amazing as well. So for this game, I kind of made a comparison to that. But in this game, the story is amazing. Like, even having played the story as many times as I have and playing it again one more time, it still just blows me away. It still just blows me away. Now, if we're gonna talk on combat in the game, come on, like, you're web swinging, you're Spider-Man. I don't think there's any other game where the combat is just this good. None that I've played so far, none that come to mind at least. Like, the combat and the web swinging is something that I just cannot, and I mean I can't get enough of it. If I really had to say like something I don't like about the game, is honestly it's the MJ missions. It's the MJ missions. Like, especially in the first half, there's just way too many MJ missions. Like, I don't want to play as MJ. I want to play as Spider-Man. Like, the second an I'm gonna be honest, second an MJ mission comes up, I'm like, all right, time to call it and hop to a different game. Like, that's honestly how I feel about the mission. Like, it's not even to throw hate on MJ or anything, but it's just like, compared to the rest of the game, these missions are very slow, and it kind of like takes you out of it a little bit. And it definitely took me out of it a little bit. There are a couple other missions that I'm not particularly fond of, but they're not horrible, they're not boring. And it's the missions where, one, you're doing the mechanical part where you're fixing Dr. Otto's arms, or just whenever you're in the lab and you have to fix something. Those missions are okay. I definitely would much rather do these instead of MJ's missions, but they're just another example of missions where it definitely slows you down a little bit compared to the rest of the game. The other mission that's sort of similar like this is when you're dealing with chemicals. So when Dr. Otto Octavius releases Devil's Breath into the city, and now you got to go and collect samples or find a sample of it. You have to do this, like, you have to kind of just this puzzle the same way you're doing the mechanical one. It's just very different, and you have to figure out, you're essentially just trying to discover the chemical, and doing the puzzle and completing it is how you discover the chemical. But these missions, again, they just slow you down so much. And like I said, these two different missions, they're cool, and I would much rather prefer to do these missions instead of MJ's missions. But man, it just slows you down. And whenever they come up, like, once I'm done, or even before I even start it, I'm like, all right, I'm about to hop to a different game. Playing this game another time, I was honestly asking myself, is it still playable in 2024? This game came out, 2020, 2021, maybe 2022? And playing it my first time, playing it my first time I played it on the PS4. I was at a family member's house. I sat down for 12 hours because I was staying the night. I sat down for 12 hours and I played the crap out of it, and it was awesome. It was phenomenal. And playing it on the PC the first time, same thing, phenomenal. Playing it multiple times again before this one time, still good. And then playing it again in 2024, I I think it still holds up. There's not many games that hold up to the way Spider-Man holds up. I don't know if it's just because it's Spider-Man. Like, everyone loves Spider-Man. Spider-Man's one of those characters. Like, Spider-Man low key one of us. He low key one of us. He got the girl problems. He looking for a job. Like, he a regular dude. And they always, for some reason with Spider-Man, they always make sure to show that. And that's something I honestly really love about his character. His character in particular, and it's something that they also capture really well in the game. In this game, there's moments where Aunt May doesn't have to, but Aunt May will give up some cash to help Peter pay for rent, or even see the struggles of Peter going through, like, his relationship with MJ. Like, that's something, like, Peter is one of us, and the game just captures that really well. Now, if you want to talk on graphics and just how the game looks visually, honestly, no complaints. In that department, 10 out of 10, perfect. I remember the very first time I played the game on PC, I tried recording with OBS. I didn't have my settings figured out. I didn't have anything figured out. I just downloaded the game and I was like, you know what? Let's run it. Let's play it. It looked amazing. To be fair, I played it on a 4K monitor, and I tried recording with OBS, and going back to the footage, it was all framey and it honestly wasn't usable. I was able to use it very little, to the point where I think I made a very small video, ended up doing okay. It did well, but that's not on the game. That's sort of on me figuring out my settings with OBS. But visually and graphic wise, I honestly think this is one of the more better games like that to have come out when it come out, and for it to still look amazing compared to games in today's age. Dragon's Dogma 2, for example, looks amazing. Look, actually, I'm not even going to use that as an example. Hogwarts Legacy. Legacy came out the same year. Either came out in 2022 or 2023. Actually, I think it came out in 2020. It came out in 2022 because it came out with Elden Ring, and it did not win Game of the Year. Obviously, Elden Ring was going to win Game of the Year, but that game, playing it again today, it looks good and looks amazing. But when you compare it to Spider-Man, which came out a year or two before, I don't think the comparison could even honestly be made. I think Spider-Man looks a whole lot better than Hogwarts Legacy, which is saying a lot considering the games have a 1 to 2 year time gap. Something else I want to talk about is certain characters that the game brings along. All the characters, I think the game does a really nice job in fleshing them out. I don't think there's not really any character where I'm like, this guy's on screen, what a drag. Like no characters have me like that. Really, there's not even really a whole ton of characters that they introduce. You have Aunt May, you have the cop, her name's Yuri. Again, a character that's throughout the whole game you're interacting with, and a character that they flesh out enough to what they have to flesh out. This isn't necessarily a character we learn her background about. It's just a character where she interacts with Peter enough for it to kind of be like, all right, she's fleshed out. We get it. We get her. But they don't go into her story a whole ton, which is understandable. She's more or less the cop. And there's even moments where Peter will say something, oh, you're going to go on that vacation, and she's all work. She's all business. So it makes sense for her. Now, MJ. It's Spider-Man. If you're playing the game, you probably know Spider-Man and his story. So they don't go too much into background. They definitely make references and they mention it, but they don't go heavily into each character's background, which I think is okay, and it's not something that holds the game back. Just because, like I said, odds are Spider-Man, his story, and along that MJ's story, Aunt May's story, and those are two characters. Again, you're playing the game, odds are Now, one character I really enjoyed was Miles Morales' character. This game came out on the PS4 before the Spider-Verse came out. And even then, when his father died, even his father, they do a good job in fleshing out. Like when he died in the mission, which isn't on screen, but when he died, I was like, damn, I felt that. I did a couple missions with him. That was almost my partner, and he gone, he gone. So even like his father, which isn't even on screen all that much, it's still like they fleshed him out enough for me to have some sort of emotional, not necessarily an emotional connection, but some sort of like emotional like place with him and his character. And Miles Morales, like I said, this game came out before the Spider-Verse. When his father died, I kind of already knew. I was like, damn, they setting this up. I honestly thought that this game was setting up a movie for Miles Morales, which, I mean, in a way, I guess someone can say, yeah. And to be fair, Miles Morales still has his father. Actually, I don't think he has his father. I'm trying to think back to the movie. Spoiler alert: the newest movie, if I remember correctly, I think he loses his father, and he's trying to like prevent it or something like that, right? It's been a minute, but the point is they do a very good job in fleshing out Miles Morales and building that connection between him and Peter Parker for the next game, which is Spider-Man Miles Morales, which we will see gameplay on very, very soon here on the channel. I think all in all, in general, I said it in the video. I'm not sure if I put that part in the bigger video where we're going to see the whole gameplay, but this game is not perfect, but it's also not far from perfect. And I wouldn't even be able to give this game an 80 or 75%. Like I think this game rests pretty nicely at a 90, maybe even a 95. I'm comfortable with 95% out of 100. Like this is just one of those games where I honestly think playing it today in 2024, it still holds up, especially compared to some of these other games that come out. And maybe it's just me, because when I play a game, I play a game. Terraria, for example. Again, can't really compare the two because they're completely different games, completely different genres, completely different styles. But I played Terraria. I clocked in like 200 to 250 hours within 2 weeks, maybe even a little less. And I just felt myself burnt out. Even now, after not playing it for maybe 2-3 weeks, even when I go in and just play a little bit, I'm like, damn, I want to play a different game. But Spider-Man is just one of those games where I don't ever feel like that. The web swinging doesn't get old. It just doesn't get old. And I said it like it's also just the movement. Like the movement is smooth. It's not clunky. It's not nothing. The movement is just right to where everything just feels flawless. Everything feels seamless when you're swinging around and doing a little combat here and there. If it all works well, so like it just all works out together, especially when you're including the combat. It's just man, it's just one of those games that I just have a lot of I don't know. I guess I'm just glazing it a lot because it's one of those games where I honestly just love it. I love it so much. There's very few games that get me like this to just talk about it and completely glaze it. Elden Ring is one of those games where it's probably mentioned in every other video because it's one of those games that I could glaze. Like it's just a phenomenal game, and it's a game where I don't get tired of it. And Spider-Man is one of those games. So to answer the question, is Spider-Man Remastered still playable in 2024? Can you come back to it and have just as much fun as you did as the first time? I'm going to say it for myself, and maybe I'm even speaking for a good portion of people. Yeah, you can come back and replay it in 2024 and have just as much fun as you did as the first time. Like it's just one of those games that holds up very, very well. Even the side quests, like some of the side quests are a little bit tedious, but if you don't want to do them, you don't got to do them. You honestly don't got to do any side quest. During the second half of this campaign for the next video we're going to see here, I didn't do any side quests. I did one. But other than that, as long as you're traveling around the city and you and you maybe take out a couple criminals robbing a bank or something, the next campaign mission or the main story mission is going to pop up for you right away. And that's something I really liked about this. Hogwarts Legacy, you gotta attend class to be able to have access to the next mission, which is fine. It's cool, but it slows you down a little bit to where you're not just rushing through the game, which is fine. You know, some could say, well, you're not supposed to be rushing through the games, which is a fair statement to make. But some of the side missions, maybe you don't feel like doing. Maybe you don't like traveling around the city collecting toxic gases for global warming or something. Anyways, I just wanted to come on here, glaze the game a little bit because I just replayed it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys can go ahead and subscribe. You guys, honestly, y'all don't even gotta leave a like. Just subscribe. And I'll have a gameplay video of the second half of that campaign coming out very shortly. Other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a very pleasant day. See ya.